Good evening again. All right, function report. We're doing the function report tonight. Let's look at number 10. 10 says, what were you able to do before your illnesses, injuries, or conditions that you can't do now? A frequent answer I see is anything I wanted. Let me leave it at that. Or everything. Or it is otherwise, it could be I was able to work full time. Those are not really helpful, particularly the first two. You really want to get a little more specific. And I would suggest, think of things that are not hugely impressive. You know, if you did impressive things, that's great. Well, let's say you skydived or you did mountain climbing and stuff like that, or marathons, that's great. But the fact that you can't do them in and of itself it doesn't even point to disability, because most people who are not disabled can't do those things either. So you want to point to the rather mundane, simpler things that everyone is expected to be able to do that you can't do. Now, you can say, I used to be able to work full time, maintain a full-time schedule. You don't want to leave it at that, though. I would be putting in, you know, if you used to be able to sit in a chair, a straight back chair for a long period of time, and you can't do that now without intense pain coming up, or you're able to walk a mile and you can't now. You were able to knit, type, do fine things with your hands, and you can't do them now. Or you can't do them at a normal rate of speed or without error. If it's cognitive things, or, you know, anxiety disorder, which makes you really lose a lot of focus and concentration frequently, you know, you might say, can't stay on task and finish something in a normal time frame, get distracted, you know, was able to focus on something without getting distracted in a short amount of time. You can talk about hobbies, but and none of them are bad, but the ones that are going to be helpful are the ones that are the type of hobby that most people can do. Because if you, again, start talking about the high-end things, they don't really, that doesn't, a person who can't go skydiving because he can't, you know, land in his legs that hard anymore, that's not going to mean you're disabled, because a disabled person has to be far more than that. So I would focus on the simple things to help so that you couldn't do a simple job. We're not trying to prove you can't do a skydiving job, or a, you know, a very high risk type of job that it needs lots of muscles and speed and reflexes and all that. Those are the kind of jobs that most people can't do anyway. And there is 12,000 jobs that don't require that we have to scratch off the table. So point to the things that would scratch off the most that you can't do. It could be sitting, standing limitations. Be careful about being too specific. I wouldn't really give numbers here, but I can only walk 2 miles. Well, 2 miles is going to be like a lot. Like, you don't think it's a lot? Maybe if you used to do 5, but 2 miles is a lot, and it's going to show a lot of non-disability. So I wouldn't start getting brave about throwing in numbers when you don't know what they mean under SSA rules. I wouldn't, I also wouldn't throw them in, and I have another video on this, when you don't actually know you can do that. Or you can walk 2 miles. Can you do it throughout the course of an 8-hour day? 2 miles, take a break, 2 miles, take a break. Because if you say you can walk 2 miles and then you need a 10-minute break, I have a feeling that the interpretation is 2 miles, 10-minute break, 2 miles from the SSA side. And that means that you could do a light job, which means at least 6 hours on your feet. You know, so if you can't, just because you can walk 2 miles, which is still kind of on the high side, but let's say that you can do that, but then you're whooped for the day and you're in bed, that's not going to be known. So I would be very hesitant to throw in numbers. I would talk more about generalities. I can't sit unlimited like I used to. I can't walk long like I used to. I can only walk very short. You can still walk very short. Okay. So I hope that helps you on number 10. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye now.